Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Outspoken podcast.
Hi.
We are your hosts, Hunter and Jake, and we are so excited to be here once again.
It is another week in the books. It's episode 2 of season 2, which is so exciting. And today is just going to be so much fun. One, because we're introducing a new segment that is really important to us. We're so excited about it.
Yeah.
And then today we're also going to be talking about our Italy trip, which was a big deal for us, if you didn't already know from following us on social media. But we had the best time, and today we're going to give you all the details, and it'll just be so much fun. Okay, like we said, we're going to introduce a new segment, and this segment we'll just stick with. It'll be continuous because it ties directly into why we're doing this podcast in the first place. The podcast is called the Outspoken Podcast for a reason. We believe in, speaking out on whatever we feel like speaking out on. So that's why sometimes it's funny, serious, sometimes it's something important or something that's not talked about enough. But regardless, we just love the idea of being outspoken and using our voices however we want them heard. And so every week in each episode, we'll do a little outspoken segment. And today it will come from us, but going forward, we really want this segment to come from you. And so really, it's just an opportunity for you to speak out about anything that you want, anything you want to get off your chest, anything you feel like is important that should be shared with the world. What we're going to do is we're going to put an anonymous little box thing. It'll be a Google form on our story, and then we'll put that story in a highlight so you can always go back to it. And each week you can just go submit anything that you want. Again, it will be anonymous. And then each episode, we will read one or two and give our thoughts as part of our little outspoken segment. So we're stoked for that.
No, we're so excited. In order for this to work, we're going to need responses. And that's what we really want, is to hear from you, hear what your frustrations of the week are, your happy moments, things that you just want to talk about, confessions, anything.
Yeah.
So some will be funny, some weeks it will be more serious, or things that need light shed on them. So we're excited. I think it will give us something fun to talk about each episode, and it comes from you, which makes it more fun.
Yes. So spill all the tea for our outspoken segment. And we will just go ahead and start with that segment today just by sharing something that we want to be outspoken about this week. And it's kind of random, but it is that Adderall is an amazing invention / drug for those who need it, which is both of us at times.
Yeah.
And not even that we need it, but for people with ADHD, wow. I've read so many things about people who try it for the first time when they have really bad ADHD, and they're just baffled that this is how a lot of people normally can be, just so productive.
Yeah.
And it has helped us be so much more productive when we need it, of course. Anyway, I just wanted to say that because that's something also I don't think a lot of people realize is ADHD is so common, and there are medications that can help you be really productive and get a lot done.
Yeah, true. I recently just started taking Adderall once or twice a week, just on days that I need or want to be extra productive, and it has literally changed what I'm able to get done.
Yeah.
So, it is just crazy. I have a new ambition to just boom, 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 get everything done.
Yes.
So, I love it.
Yes. That's our little outspoken moment for the week. We're so excited to see what you submit for next week, and we'll give our little commentary on it. But for the rest of the episode, baby, let's give them a little inside scoop of our trip.
Yes. Okay, so the whole basis of why we went on this trip is because Hunter does photography just like kind of part-time, kind of like whenever he wants or needs to. But his friends were getting married in Italy, like a destination wedding. And so they asked Hunter if they paid for like parts of his trip, if he would be willing to come and take pictures. And so obviously he said, yes, that's amazing. And so we both decided to go. And then we added like a few days before and a few days after our, like when we would be in Rome for the wedding, so that we could kind of like do our own thing. So that's like the basis of the trip. So yeah, you start off with our first day.
Okay. Yeah. So this was our first time, both of us, like flying internationally. And so it was going to be our longest flight. I already struggled like with my flights to Kauai. I mean, some they're hit or miss. Some were fine, but like always the way back, especially like it felt so long.
Yeah.
And so I was like actually nervous, and like we both kind of were like dreading the long flight because our first flight was from Salt Lake to Amsterdam. But actually, like, even though the flights were long, they ended up being like really manageable and also fun. Like,
Wait, tell them why.
we decided this is the best travel hack for you if you have a long flight, or honestly any flight. We both took an edible before our flight, and it was actually so fun and amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it was so fun, actually. Like, I think about like all the moments of just the random things that happen on a plane, like when they bring their food and like stuff like that.
No, yeah.
It all felt so amazing. Like when the food cart like started coming down the aisle, we were literally like so excited. Like beaming.
The thing is, I was planning on making, this is a really funny part. I was planning on making a travel vlog type like video with like music to it, you know? Like I sometimes do just like cute little videos like that. So I was filming pretty much everything. Like every time they like brought us something on the plane, or like we like opened our slippers and like our blankets and pillow and everything, like I videoed all of it. It's like you can see like when we're progressively like getting like goofier and goofier, and it was so funny. Like we just like the food comes out and we're like
We're so happy.
so it really did, like it changed the whole thing, because
Yeah.
it felt like 30 minutes and we both slept like babies.
That's the other thing. It's like it's so fun and fun, or it's
is
so
fun.
fun and like funny and upbeat. Like that's like your experience.
Yeah.
Usually when you take this type of edible that we had, like for the first little while, but the end is like this beautiful, like you're so relaxed that I literally, my body like felt like it was like sunk into the airplane seat. And you all know those are like the most uncomfortable seats. They
Yeah.
barely recline, but like it felt like I was just
We also like
on a
bought neck
cloud.
pillows and like the eye covering things,
Yes.
because like we were kind of like planning on doing this the whole time, and so
Yeah.
we were like, we're gonna get set up so that we have like the best experience.
Yes.
We like played Angry Birds on the like the TV screen for like hours.
People were probably like, what?
No, yeah,
is
like the
going
poor
on?
people
Like,
sitting
we're
by
so
us are like,
intense.
who are these kids?
Yeah,
Because no, but it was so good.
it was great.
Yeah, but the flight, they were still long, even though
Yeah.
it was enjoyable.
And honestly, like the stress began really like at our first layover, which was Amsterdam. And we had a long layover there. It was like 8 hours. And like, I'll just be first to say, like, we'll be honest, a lot of the parts of this trip were very, very last minute planned for us.
Oh yeah,
And because of that, we literally were doing so much just as we went. And so like we got to the Amsterdam airport, and then I'm just like thinking, I'm like, ugh, like how are we actually gonna get like to this cute hotel we're staying in Milan. That's where we were staying the first night. And then like from there, the next morning, we need to go to Lake Como. So just thinking through the logistics at our layover, I was like, we have to rent a car. So we did all that. I had to get like an international driver's license. Anyway, so there was like a little stress there, but once we got all that done, it was fine. And the flight from there to Milan was really short. Like it wasn't bad.
Yeah, like an hour or two.
Yeah.
Something like that. And so, yeah, we left the U.S. in the evening, and we got to Amsterdam in like the afternoon. The time change, like I literally still don't understand like how it works, because it is like my mind can't like wrap itself around it. But yeah, so we were like so dazed and confused. It was nighttime when we got to Milan. We went straight to the rental car place. They did not speak one singular word of English.
None.
And I was kind of just standing there. I didn't really do a thing. Hunter was like literally trying to speak Italian. He thought that hello in Italian was bonjour.
Well, I feel like
Which
that's
it's
pretty
close.
fair.
It is close, like buongiorno.
Yeah.
But it was just like that was his
Like,
knowledge of
hi.
Italian during this experience.
No, I kid you not. The mental stress I was under during that conversation of getting the rental car with this man. And like he was frustrated that I didn't understand.
Yeah, which
And
I
I'm
mean,
like,
honestly, if I was like trying to do something and like the person was in like a predominantly English speaking place and like it was so hard to communicate and like I'm just trying to do my job.
no, yeah.
That is like kind of annoying, but also I'm like,
You need to accommodate.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's usually visitors who are renting cars.
true.
Yeah. And so, but luckily, like, I genuinely feel like I did understand things just from, like, literally his, like,
I mean,
hand
Spanish
motions
is
and, like,
similar too, so
pointing to
kind of, like-
things. And yeah, there's just, like, certain words that I would be like, okay, it must be that.
Yeah.
Anyway, after a while, we finally got our rental car. It was so late.
Yeah.
How did we walk to the rental car place? Or how did we get there?
There was a shuttle from the
Okay.
airport. Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah. But other times we did have to walk to the rental car
Don't
place.
get me
That's why we're
started,
thinking of
yes.
that. Anyways, so we get to our hotel, guys.
Our hotel in
It was
Milan.
beautiful.
Stunning.
It's beautiful.
It was.
Maybe we'll like post some more pictures of like things that we like specifically talk about so that you
Yeah.
guys can kind of see like what we were seeing. Okay, so we took a little break. We're
Yes,
back.
We are back.
Okay, so we were talking about the hotel in Milan.
Yes.
It's really old. It's like a old chateau. I always say chateau, but that's like in France. It's like a villa. And
It
it
is a
was
villa.
stunning, super like old like architecture. The art inside was beautiful. It's like so vibrantly colored. There's
Yep.
like gold antique things everywhere. Like it was
The
stunning.
building from the outside is like it's circular, like or the corners of the building, I guess, are like curved.
Yeah.
And then there is just like the thickest ivy. Is it
Yeah,
ivy?
ivy.
Yeah. The thickest ivy literally like covering the hotel.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It looks so stunning and like lights
There's
set
like
up in the most
cute
perfect
umbrellas
spots.
like under like over these tables all around. Like it was like the perfect Italian like it was just beautiful.
It was so cute.
And so we got there, we checked in, the people were very nice. I will say every hotel experience that we had, the service was amazing. The people tried, even if they weren't very good at English, they tried so hard to like communicate with us, and they were just
Yes.
the sweetest. We'll tell you more about one of the specific hotels, but the service there was really good. I mean, like waiters, people in the stores, like they were all very curious about like where we're from, what we do.
Yes.
And so it was just really like nice because I mean, I haven't been to lots of like nicer hotels in the United States, but I feel like just the service isn't as like kind and like I don't know. I just felt very like cared for. Like they
Yeah.
cared about my experience. Like, and it didn't feel like it was just for like the ratings or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
That was like
it
the whole
was-
Italy experience, I feel like.
No, definitely. I agree. I cannot wait to talk about the other hotel
Yeah.
because that was insane. But yeah, this hotel was beautiful. We only were in Milan for a night. So we stayed there that night. We actually, like, where we stayed, the room we had was like even in this like separate villa.
It was like a separate building with like
right
2 or
next
3
to
rooms.
it. And it was so beautiful and like old fashioned, but in
Yeah.
like the cutest way.
We
That
had,
we
like-
need to put pictures on the Outspoken story. After this episode comes out, we will, because I want people to be able to see like what that was like, because
Yeah.
it was so unique. I've never been in a hotel like that.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. And we had like a little private garden in the back.
Yep.
It was like shared with the 2 other rooms.
Yes.
And it was just so peaceful. We were like quite a ways from like downtown Milan. So it was just like the streets, like we went on a little bike ride in the morning because we spent like the first half of the next day in Milan.
yeah.
The hotel had bikes that we could use. We just like rode around parks, and there was like just beautiful gardens everywhere with like citrus fruits growing. And it was just so like, it was such a good like first actual day in Italy
Yes.
because it was like so peaceful. And yeah. And
Yeah.
then hell broke loose.
It did.
Oh, wait. No. That's later. I'm getting my moments confused.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I will
after-
refer back to this moment in a few minutes when we talk about the second time we were in Milan.
Yes, that I never want to recall, but we will for
Okay.
you today.
But this is like one of the most beautiful parts of the trip that is coming up.
Yes.
We drove from Milan to Lake Como,
Yes.
which if you know Italy geography, which I don't really, but from Milan, Lake Como is north, and Lake Como is like a big lake or like a series of lakes that is like all comprised of like the little Lake Como cities.
Yes.
Like Lake Como is not one lake, I don't think. Are they all connected?
Yeah.
It's like a really long,
It's a
skinny
huge,
lake.
long lake. Yes, but basically, there's all these little like towns and villages like on different parts of it because it is so huge.
Yeah.
So
Okay, yeah, that's a better way of explaining.
yeah, no, and that's okay. And it's like situated right in the Swiss Alps,
Yeah.
which is like so beautiful because you're seeing like this giant mountains and then there's like this beautiful lake and everything is still like so green. It almost has like a tropical feel to it. Like
Yeah.
it definitely is. Like it feels like that in some parts.
Yeah. I mean, like the vegetation is like pretty tropical. Kind of
Yeah.
like not really like palm trees, but definitely like palm tree-esque.
yes.
Tropical, like just beautiful, beautiful.
Yes. Like it
everything.
reminded me a lot of Kauai, honestly.
Yeah.
But it was so beautiful just driving up to that.
Yeah. And so it's kind of funny. Like the driving is really insane. We should talk about like the cars. You've probably seen like pictures, like Italian cars are tiny, tiny,
so
tiny.
small.
Like a lot of the car brands are American. Like there's Ford, there's Kia, there's
Mhm.
a few others, but they are just tiny versions of those cars.
Yeah.
Like a Ford Escape, like is a big car there,
Yeah.
which is literally like one of the smaller ones that are made in the US.
Yeah.
So it's insane. Like we just kept saying like, that is the cutest tiny little car because there was just so many tiny ones.
Yeah. And ours, like we like from the pictures when I was looking at the rental, I chose like one of the bigger ones and it was so like teensy and
like
cute.
the description was big SUV.
yeah.
Or like
it was
large SUV.
tiny. It was tinier
It
than
barely-
my car that I have here.
We both have had a backpack and then a checked bag.
Yeah.
And it all barely fit in our car.
Yeah.
Like the seats were all full, the trunk was full.
And on top of that, like so like you said, the cars are small and then the roads are teeny tiny, like so skinny, the lanes. It is unbelievable, especially when you get up in Lake Como and in all those like little towns, which
Yeah.
I'll get to in a second. But just for everyone's knowledge, because I didn't know before, like you still do drive on the right side of the road, and like the steering wheel is on the left of the car. So like that was the
It's like
same,
they're basically American cars.
but
and-
it was everything is like kilometers per hour, which like messed with my brain for a little bit, but over time it was fine. Because everything is in kilometers
yeah.
there on the
I
car.
mean, you
So
you
it
just
was,
go off the number like you do.
yeah, but it just like felt weird.
At
Like
first, like
I'm
you're going
going
10 miles per hour and
130.
it's like 30.
Yeah,
But so it was like weird to get your mind around.
yeah. But I'll just say this before we even talk about the roads in Lake Como. And you can probably say this about everywhere, but wow, the Italian drivers were giving me a little anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, especially that morning in Milan when we were trying to find a place to go to lunch. The roads
Yeah.
were like so teeny tiny, and like half of them were one way, half of them weren't.
And
so I'm just like,
everyone goes like really fast. I mean, it's
Yes.
similar to a lot of places, like, but it was intense. And we were also probably being like extra vigilant to like not speed, whatever, because
Yes.
we're,
well, the
kind of
thing was we
scared.
were looking for a place to eat.
yeah.
So we were like going like slower and like being more cautious and like trying to look. He's trying to look on maps. And I literally had cars just like honking
And like
and like
swerving
yelling.
around.
And I like pride myself in being like a fast driver. I will not be that person in the fast lane who is like holding everyone back. But there, I was genuinely just like fighting for my life.
yeah.
And it only got worse in Lake Como because the roads were.
So Lake Como is really, really, really old. Like
It's so
a
cool.
lot of Italy is, but just because it's all pushed down, like these huge mountains go out of the lake and it's all pushed down like on the side of the mountains. And so like they can't build lots of new on top of what's there. Anyways, the roads were built before cars, obviously. So they're not built like the size of cars. And since it's all pushed down to the base of the lake on these steep mountains, there was no room to like have a shoulder to the side of the road.
Yeah.
So like there is a building and then like enough room to like paint a line and then the road. And then on the other side, it's the same thing. So like there is no shoulder. Your mirror, like the whole time you're driving, is this close to a wall.
Yeah.
So like the whole time I'm just like looking out my window, terrified.
Yeah, it was so scary. And they've done a lot of work. You can tell like some of the roads that they have been able to like make a little bigger.
Yeah.
They have like there are some that are like more main roads, but especially once you get into these little towns, which is where we were staying, some of them are like little cobblestone pathways, and like
Yeah.
some literally can only fit one car, but they are meant for 2 lanes.
Yeah,
And so
like you have to like pull over or
yeah,
whatever.
you'd literally have to like pull over, back up to the next like little driveway. It was crazy, but
Yeah.
it was also a lot of fun. Like once I got used to driving those cars and driving on those roads, it was fun. So
Yeah.
just a little adjustment.
Yeah. And Lake Como was so beautiful.
Ugh,
Like I was
stunning.
saying, like it's super, super old. And so like these beautiful, like huge churches and like these villas that are like a castle and they're like pink with like beautiful statues and gardens all around them. Like
Yeah.
the colors and the landscaping, it was just beautiful. And then like you look out and it's this beautiful, huge lake with the like green mountains behind it. So it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was seriously so beautiful, picturesque, and it was so fun. We were staying there. We were actually meeting up with some of those friends. So the couple that was getting married and one other friend, we were all just going to Lake Como for just a couple nights to stay in this Airbnb. And our Airbnb was so cute. It had the best view.
Yeah.
And like around our Airbnb, it was like the cutest little just neighborhood on this hillside, and it's like the cobblestone paths and like so much greenery, and like it was just perfect. And so keep in mind, like this whole time we went into the trip like planning on getting engaged
Yeah.
in Italy. Like we both knew.
We had both picked out our rings.
Both picked out our rings.
Yeah.
We even decided like right before that I would be the one to propose. And like we get so many questions about that. And especially when we were dating and like talking about getting married, we would get a lot of questions like who's going to do it or who does it. And like, I don't think there is any like set way or set thing. Like for a while, we literally were both just like, we don't care. Like, and so we were both like going to plan a time to do it. And then like whoever did it first, they would just be the ones to do it. Like it'd just be a surprise and we'd be fine either way. And I really like, I think we would to this day, like we would have been, but I'm too anxious about stuff like that. Like I was overthinking and I'm like, I just need to know like what you think. And so we talked about it before and it was cool because we both just like said, we don't really care, but like every time we've pictured it happening, that is how we pictured it happening, just like that I would propose. And so we were just like, hey, let's do that. So the whole time of this trip, because I've never been here and like didn't really have a solid plan of what we were going to be doing each day, like we didn't plan out a lot prior to the engagement. It was so hard because I was just like looking for ways and places to propose. Yeah. So like the beginning of the trip, I was like a little stressed because I was just like, oh my gosh, how is this going to work?
And so our first night in Lake Como, we were supposed to be by ourselves.
Yes.
And so I didn't know this, but that's when he was planning to propose.
Mm-hmm.
It was like perfect. Like our friends' flights got canceled and everything, so it ended up just being us that night at the Airbnb.
Yeah.
But then like a bunch of plans changed and another one of the friends actually made it. And so he came to the Airbnb with us. And so we went to dinner and Hunter was like so stressed out. And I was like, you don't have to be stressed about like the engagement. I know like you're trying to find the time, like it's okay. Like let's just not even worry about it. Like even if we just want to wait till we get home, like I would rather it not be stressful.
Yeah.
So like I knew that's what he was stressing about.
Yeah. Yep. We had that conversation and I was just like, okay, yeah, whatever. But in my head, I'm like, no, I need to figure this out. And it ended up being fun. Like it was so fun to like be able to pick up our friend and like we went to dinner with him and it was fun. So it was a perfect night. It just like sometimes when my plans like that, like just change last minute, I just like hit the panic button, especially when it's something as big as like getting engaged and proposing to your boyfriend. Yeah. So,
and before our conversation, stressed. I literally had no idea what was like anything was wrong.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, fun. Like he's going to be here now.
Yes.
Like I was like, totally like oblivious.
This was our chance. This was our chance. But I did think at this point, I did know I'm like, I think we have to do it here in Lake Como. Like it was just that beautiful and perfect. And we were going to be there 2 nights. And so like 3 days, technically we were there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it'd be so fun. Like we'll get familiar with the place. It'd be fun to do it here. So that's all I knew. And so, the next day is when our other friends came and met us there. And so basically I just like filled them in because they knew what was going to happen on the trip, but they didn't know anything else. And so there was a point at the Airbnb when I think you were in the bathroom or something. And so then I just like pulled them aside and like told them I'm like trying to do it. And it ended up being good. Like I didn't want to involve them simply because I didn't want to take away from like what their weekend trip was about.
Yeah.
And I checked beforehand, like, is it fine if we even do this? But they were like wanting to help. Like they were so excited and thought it would be fun. So that gave me some like confidence and like a little relief. I'm like, okay, I can use Andrea and Preston. They're going to help me. And so the rest of that day, I was just trying to brainstorm how I was going to do it. But I really felt like that day I was going to do it. And I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to dinner by ourselves. Everyone was kind of like, oh, like we're so tired. So they stayed home. And I was like, I'm starving. So we all went, we just went. And then when we got back, we got
gelato.
Yes, we went and got gelato. And I didn't even realize. I'm pretty sure I was even the one who suggested that we went and got gelato.
Yeah.
Like
probably.
I was like making it last longer, even though like had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
So anyways, but it was because the people that were helping us, our friends, needed like more time to get ready.
Yeah, because I had planned to do it literally right next to our Airbnb. There was this little path that we walked to get from our Airbnb to the car, and it was like the cutest little path. There's like this place where it's like archways and they're like covered in like green whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just so stunning, and we had both said that so many times and like
Yeah.
taken so many pictures of it, and I'm like, it would kind of be cute just to like do it here. And we had like a speaker and we have like a song that's like really meaningful to us. So I was just like, okay. The ideas started to roll once they got there and I was like actually thinking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we went to dinner, is like giving them time to set up the speaker and like also learn how to work my camera that I had and like just get that kind of prepared for us to come back.
Yeah.
And so we went to gelato, like he said. And at this point, I'm like so scared. Like when we were getting gelato, and not even scared, I was so excited, obviously, but it was just like, just this combination of so many feelings. Like it's such a surreal thing, I'm sure, for anyone, but especially when for like most of your life, you thought that like you could never, ever, ever do this. Like it wasn't possible that you would get here. Like it's something you wouldn't be able to do in this life. It was so surreal to think like, oh my, like I am literally about to propose to him and we're going to get married and blah. I don't know. It was just crazy. So I was feeling all the things. Well, it's true, babe. And so I was like, okay, I just need to go to the bathroom.
When we were at the gelato place.
Yeah.
And it was like literally more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, what
Well,
the hell
I was
is
like
going on?
texting them in the bathroom and they're like, we're not
I was
ready.
like,
And
geez, like a little too much gelato.
no, I didn't even actually go in the bathroom at all, I don't think.
Yeah.
But
Another time
anyway.
I was literally oblivious. I was probably like on my phone for the first little bit eating my gelato.
Yeah. And so then we start driving back. We park. I feel like I do something in the car to extend the time or no? Once we parked, where
We just talked a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was
Yeah. We just had a little conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. And we got out.
Oh, no, literally what happened in that car when we got back, he still needed to like have some time, and he was like, I was asking him if he was okay again because he was so nervous about proposing, but I thought he was like feeling anxious about like proposing again. Like our conversation that we had the day before.
Oh.
Like you were telling me like, yeah, like I think that I might just have to like do it later in the trip, or like I don't
we
think
were
it's
just
going to
talking
work
about
out
it.
right now.
Yes.
Like we were just talking about it like really quick in
like
the car.
revisiting the subject,
Yeah.
basically.
Like I asked him
But
if
he
he
had
was
no
okay
idea.
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he literally said like, I just like am so stressed out. Like I'll probably just like wait or
Yeah.
something like that. Like he kind of hinted at that it wouldn't happen. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no, like whatever, really, it's fine. So I'm just like back down the hill like to our little place. And so we like walk down the first steps and I hear like faint music playing. And I was like, oh, like I love this song. Like, wait, what is it? Because I just heard like the first like instrumental part.
Yeah.
And okay, mind you, the song that we played is a Taylor Swift song.
It
We
is.
both love Taylor
And what
Swift.
about it?
It's a really good song, okay?
It
and
is.
it has like sentimental value to our relationship.
Yes.
Like it means a lot, okay? Don't hate us. Anyways, so I walk down the stairs and I'm like, there's like Taylor Swift playing, like I thought it was like kids in like the yard next to the place. So I was like, babe, like they're listening to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like it's so cute. And he goes, baby. And then like grabs my hand or something.
Like
and then
he didn't realize
then like
yet.
the words of the song started and it like immediately clicked. I was like, like we both looked at each other and it was so cute. So like he walked me down and we kind of just like talked for a minute and then he like proposed. And it was so cute. And then like at one point, like when we were talking, I like looked over and saw our friends like kind of like hiding in the bushes and then they like
Yes.
started coming out and taking pictures and stuff. So it was so perfect, and it worked out amazing, and he had me fooled for sure.
It was so fun. It was perfect and amazing, and it was scary, but it was so, yeah, I'm so happy. And I was so happy in that moment. I literally, like, before had planned all these things that I wanted to say. Like, I wrote in my notes, like, this little paragraph, and, like, just remember in that moment, like, all the nerves and, like, excitement and everything, like, it all just went out the window. And I literally was, like, gonna start crying. So then I just, like,
That was
I
so
don't know what I said,
cute.
but it was just short and sweet and simple.
Yeah.
But it happened, and it was so fun. And yeah. And then we had, like, literally just the best night celebrating. It was just us. Like, it was getting late at that point, and I think they maybe went out to dinner after or
Yeah.
something.
Our friends went to dinner, and I
Yes.
think we just went to bed.
We
while they
literally
were
went to
gone.
bed, except we didn't go to bed. Like, we were up, obviously, and, like, we were, like, making our posts and, like,
Because we posted like only an hour or two after.
yeah.
Because it was really nice because he had all his camera stuff, and then obviously like all the stuff to like edit and stuff there.
Yeah.
And so we just did it really fast
We were
and
so
posted
excited.
like as soon as we could.
Yeah.
And we stayed up until, I mean, it was like 10 or something, like getting later there, but here it was like 4 in the afternoon or something.
Yeah.
And so when we posted, like everyone here obviously was like still awake and saw,
Yeah.
but we stayed up until probably like 4 a.m. because we were like messaging people or like talking. Like I texted a bunch of my friends, like, hey, like look at Instagram, like just, I don't know. We were just having so much fun talking to everyone and our families.
It was
And
so fun.
so, yeah, it was just such a perfect day, and all because of Hunter.
And you, baby. I love you.
I love you too.